Hello, everybody. Welcome. You are looking at this image right here. My name, although you can't see me, you can hear me. There are plenty of other videos on this channel where you can see me, but I have something important coming in today. My name is Master Juniper Blue Mystique. I am an Ascension Master, a Master Healer, and a Divine Guide. And since 2019, I have, in fact, and I say that diligently, been bringing through the return of Christ. There are huge, profound things happening at this time. They can no longer be misconstrued as a conspiracy theory because there's too much happening across the board. Okay. So I've had some beings of light come in today and bring some channeled messages that I need to share with you. And this is for this full moon today, in November 15th. We are in a very profound, one of the last of 4 super full moons in this series. So I'm going to take a sip of water, excuse me. And if you are not familiar with my channel, recently on my channel, I have done profound things for the return of Christ. But what you don't know, I mean, these are the things of the money matrix, the Sistine Chapel, the Pentagram, and portals of darkness. And in this last week to week and a half, I have undone all of those. And they should have already been done. So what you may not know is there was great interference on my vessel, my twin soul's vessel, interference on the return of Christ, and not only that, but interference for the entire collective soul. And that was also presented in today's message that I'm going to read to you. And then I'm going to give you a card message from Spirit. Okay. As a master healer, I do have my own decks. 2 of those I will be using today. And then I have a few other decks that they told me to call in. Okay. Really quickly, though, Spirit did say there were a few videos of profound support that are here to support you. So I'm going to show you where to find those. They are part of my creations. So one of them I have posted in the communities tab today on my main channel, Guided Ascendant Light. And it is this video, okay? This is a water, flow like water. It's a shadow healing, I believe. I'm trying to remember, it was done about a month ago, but it came in today. God said it's very important to utilize this one if you wish to have help healing in today's full moon energy. I will also be doing my full moon healing on Patreon here right after this. I deal with the moon and the sun. That's what I have been doing since 2019, is removing all darkness of the moon and the sun. And you can see all of it in the path to righteousness. This is the path of Christ's return, and it is only available for those who truly are ready to honor that and to honor their soul and to rise through profound healing, and they're ready to anchor into love. Okay. But no matter what, you have to do that. That is your way through. All right. And then the other thing that was placed in for today is something that I spent some time yesterday creating. And it's not normal. It's probably not something people are used to, but it is Hertz Healing. It is available on my Hertz Healing music channel. And I listened to this one for about an hour this morning myself. And in it, I channel seed chakra mantras, and I also use my Hertz bowls. It's quite complex piece, and it really truly does align, awaken, cleanse, and help you detox your chakra system. Since I did it, my head tingled for at least an hour. But I used it for a little bit of time. For about an hour, I sat here meditating to it myself today. And that is a full moon master chakra detox alignment and awakening that is now available on my Hertz music channel. I put it together yesterday, channeled through what Spirit wanted me to do. I took the seed chakra mantras, Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Ham, Om, Ah, and I did something with them. And it's in the background of the music. It's not as easy to hear it until you go into the quieter points of the piece. But I am channeling those through. I am singing those for you as well. And I do them in a specific way that helps recalibrate, refocus, realign your chakra system. Okay. Not only that, it was detoxing my pineal gland, my crown chakra, and I felt my crown chakra open even more, which I needed. So I encourage you guys to check those out because Spirit said they are here to help you through this energy. There has been profound, and I do mean profound resistance, and some diligent attempts to stop people from ascending. Okay, so now I'm going to read the channeled message for you guys. Right when I I asked Creator for a message, is what happened, and then beings came in to channel this for you. And sometimes I'll just channel them out my voice, but this time I wrote them down because I wasn't recording it at the time. So I will read those for you. There were two different energies that came in here, okay? So listen very carefully. There are Pleiadian beings of light, okay, and they are in cosmic flight. So there are Pleiadian beings of light in cosmic flight right now, okay, and I literally see it as coming into our atmosphere. Preparations and assistance, for this great event, for this cosmic ascension. So they're coming through to help prepare us, to help assist us for this great event, for this cosmic reunification, this cosmic ascension. We are meant to unite with beings of light. We are not just a solitude species. Okay, that was part of a lower vibrational state of being. And that is not who we are going into 7D. It's not who we were in our original creation. You can call them aliens, extraterrestrials. If you are truly a part of God's light and God's DNA, you have at one time lived amongst them before. And we are prepping to coincide with them once again. And I've talked about this recently in the work I've done on this channel in which you find this video upon. I was prepping the angels to return to walking amongst us. Okay, so seventh dimensional plane is an existential, it's a plane of existence of much more inclusions of light and life. Okay, so is where angels walk. It is where we commingle with the ethereal, with the elementals, and things of that nature. And all of that has also recently played out on my channel and diligently through the Return of Christ work. Now, I'm going to tell you that there has been major interference. Some of you don't know the attacks that I've gone through, the interference that has come up against me, and not limited to those who actually came into New Earth with me. Some of them decided to pick up that shadow and bring in great interference as well. So with the Sistine Chapel, with everything that I've been doing lately, and there's more that missed its mark. Okay, so if you don't think the resistance is a thing, trust me, it's a thing. If you don't think it's a battle for your soul, believe me, it is a battle for your soul. Okay, so Pleiadian beings of light are in cosmic flight. Preparations and assistance for this great event, this cosmic ascension. That's why they're coming. They're getting ready to prep us. They're prepping us. I told you we're getting closer to the 3 days of darkness, and we won't be alone. Divine interventions are at play. Great interference. Okay, leading some astray. A focus recalibration is required. All right, there is divine interventions are at play right now. Of course, they can't go against your free will. Keep that in mind. But they are here to make sure that you can see clearly and align when there is interference. Okay, I'm sorry, when there is interference from a force that is outside of light and it knocks us into certain spaces, but when it affects the greater good, they will intervene in a divine measure. And like I said, my DM, again, is not protecting me, has not been in the past, and they don't want us to unite, okay? So there's always resistance there. There has always been resistance to the union of twin flames, to my DM and I. There's always been resistance to the return of Christ's work, and you better believe there is resistance for your soul rising above it and through it all. That's why I know for a fact there were supposed to be people on that path to righteousness with me, honoring and celebrating and getting all the healing God could ever provide you for you. But there was great resistance. There will always be resistance when you work with me because I am real. I am that. Okay. And anytime God pushes something, it's very subtle. But the interference is very loud, and it seems next to impossible. It seems like you don't have strength, but you do. It's all an illusion. Okay. So, a focused recalibration is required, and this has come up a lot for me because it was hitting me hard. And then I ended up creating a scenario where now I'm afraid I'm going to be homeless, right? But it's because I got knocked out of kilter. I had to regroup. I had to remove energies that were not serving me. They were not helping me. They were not helping the return of Christ. And there was great interference applied. And that Sistine Chapel was actually supposed to be assisted bringing through by somebody else as well, because they took part in that in their bloodline. Okay, so there's supposed to be profound healing for the return of Christ for all of mankind, and there's interference in that. Okay, this is very real, and so they were shifting my world around to where things weren't working. You know what I mean? I was in a state where I was not well, and I would try to do things outside of it and they were blocking it. And I'm thankful for that. That is a divine intervention. Okay. And so then you find yourself navigating to what works, even with a little bit of stubborn energy, because we have to. All right. So we have to change our focus. We have to focus on what matters. Okay. We have to focus on being aligned. We have to focus on being connected to spirit, and we need to focus on clearing that heart space. You also need to focus on making sure that you are healing all karma, not cutting ties, not cutting cords, healing it. All right. And the only way to ensure that you get that ability was the path to righteousness. Um, and what God said about that is there was a lot, again, of interference and resistance coming my way, and things that you can't bring into the house of God. And so that is a state that you really don't want to be in, right? And so we have bypassed some time. Things are moving a lot quicker now. And he specifically said, as if you can't see everything, there's work to do. Okay. And trust me, there's work to do. So we have to recalibrate our focus. We have to make sure we are paying attention to what matters. We are not taking time. I know that I have provided messages from spirit, and people choose to think that they don't have to act upon it, but what they don't realize is they missed something so profound. Okay. So when we are focused on the wrong things, it can blind what is important. All right. So be aware of what you're focusing on. I've had to do the same thing. Focus at recalibration required. What am I doing? This is not right. I am not myself right now. I know I have a new twin flame because I got a walk in. And so it's like a whole new version of myself I'm trying to get used to. And so I do feel different, but I still know what matters, right? And so we have to make sure that we are focusing on the right things. Okay. So internal compass to navigate this shift. Okay. You have to be internally focused. You need to be digging into that heart space. Everything needs to be, I want to say, measured against your feelings. I want to say deep dived into, right? No quick reactions other than when God says something subtle, when there's a subtle nudge or a nudge of soul growth, take it without hesitation. Because the moment you hesitate, the moment you want to think on something, is the moment you give your power away to shadow. Okay. So make sure your focus is internal within you. Make sure you are navigating through every feeling and every emotion you've got, and make sure you are digging deeply into your heart space, and make sure you are co-creating with God, because there is divine interventions occurring right now, and this is across the globe. Okay. And so I knew that with myself, but they're saying this is not just me, this is a collective thing, because when you bring judgments to the house of God, I don't think you realize how detrimental that is to your house, to your heart space. Okay. So we have to navigate these waters. And I say waters, pun intended. Today was that water healing they're pointing to is important for this full moon. I don't know what's coming in my full moon healing. I'll be doing that on Patreon right after this. If you wish to receive all full moon healings I've ever done and more, you can join Patreon, no worries. But I do special full moon healings on there, and sometimes I'll do extras, and they're all Return of Christ related. because part of the return of Christ was undoing all darkness from the moon and the sun, recalibrating, realigning them, and a lot of things have been done. Okay, so there's a lot more than you know that has already changed in the energy. And so there's great interference keeping you at bay from those changes. And we don't want that. Okay. And it's not about fear, it's about being diligent and know what you're focusing on. Because fear will blind you either way, and it's not of God. Okay. Okay, so that was the message. The Pleiadians are coming up, beings of light are coming in for preparations and assistance for this great event, this cosmic ascension, cosmic reunification. Divine interventions are at play. Great interference has been leading some astray. Okay, so a focus recalibration is required, and internal compass to navigate this shift. What really is important to you? Okay, because let me tell you, this shift is profound and it's not one you can understand. It's not one you can also go back to. You know what I mean? Like you can't miss something and go, oops, let's try again. We don't have time. Let me tell you again, the shadow is really good at making you think you have time. Procrastination, fear, hesitation, judgments, those are not things you want to play with right now. It's immediate action. When God says jump is when you jump and you say, how high? I know I trust you, God. I know you have my back. The shadow will make you feel otherwise. The shadow is very loud. The resistance is very loud. It feels very powerful, but it only is when you give it your power. Okay, call your power back. God is subtle, spirit is subtle, and the more you dig into your heart space, the more you will hear him. Okay, and the messages of co-creation with spirit of light, not the shadow and ego. Okay, ego is in the head, God is in your heart space. So then I had a channeled message come through from another being at this time. Another being came in, and this is what they said. Okay, I felt a masculine energy, but I really don't know. I just started writing it down and it got all kinds of funky handwriting. So I will do my best to navigate this message, okay? I don't usually write them down. I'll usually use my vessel, but I'm going to read this. Greetings, beings of ascension. I am an Andromedon, the Great Descendant. I looked that up, and there is actually a female, and it deals with goddess Athena, who is in my birth chart. So it makes a lot of sense to me. Okay. So listen, it was greetings, being of ascension. I am Andromedon, the great descendant. And I don't really know if it was masculine or feminine at first. I thought masculine, but I really didn't ask. And when I looked it up, they said feminine. So it really doesn't matter. They can present with both energies. We must shift now our ways of thinking into a more fluid way of being. I am Andromedon, the great descendant. We must shift now our ways of thinking into a more fluid way of being. So many of you were presented with opportunities to shift in profound ways, but allowed some outside forces to get in the way. Beings of light, it is time to hear. It is time to feel. Nothing will remain as it was from this day forward. We must shift our ways of being. Nope. We must shift our ways of being, yep, into profound energies of doing. So what I felt from that is people they're just here. They're not taking actions. You have to take actions. If you do not heal enough, you can't receive these energies. And there was great resistance. Okay, so hear me. This is what they said. We must shift our ways of being into profound energies of doing. We are intervening to profound waves of light. We are intervening. Okay, so I told you I was channeling it as I wrote it, but the image that I get is they are bringing in new waves of light to help intervene. Okay, so we are intervening to profound waves of light to assist you in raising your frequency enough to survive the shift coming in now. Prepare for integrations, knowings. Okay, prepare for integrations with beings. That's what I tried to tell you. Extraterrestrials, whatever you want to call them. Angels, angelic presence. You need to prepare for integrations of these in our reality. Knowings and new ways of life. Galactic intervention is coming in now. Okay, that is not a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing they're here to assist us, but it's not a good thing that they have to intervene like this. It's not a good thing that people wanted to sabotage the return of Christ. And I've said that many times over. That resistance, you need to be able to push past that resistance. That was the key. And that's why the path to righteousness was so important. And yes, every time I say something, you better believe it's going to spark your shadow and it's going to spark resistance. And one of the worst things that you can do is allow judgments to be brought into the house of God. The house of God is not the religion you are used to. It is the house of God that has been presented on this channel and the one that's been in front of you. From what happened with the Holy Grail, because I did that on Christmas Day of 22, to reactivations of the masculine and feminine pyramids, because I've done those since 2019 all over the globe, masculine and feminine, to clearing out Mount Shasta, which was not of light at all, to activating Fiji. You guys, there was so many opportunities for people to heal, to grow, to do profound changes. And do you realize that if you as an individual chose one of those things, chose the path, did something that those nudges were guiding you to without hesitation, with faith in God, you would not have just changed your life. You would have changed many. Okay. And each layer is something more profound. Each guidance of co-creation from God was something more profound. Okay. And so that's why there's resistance, because they don't want you doing that, because it doesn't just help you, it helps the energy of the world too. Okay. But ego, I have watched ego get in the way. I've watched so many painful things, and people have hurt me like badly. Like I feel like what we focused on and what was important was not aligned with New Earth. Okay. It was not aligned with unconditional love. It was more aligned with ego and like envy, jealousy, they're saying greed, those kinds of things. And so we have to be judgment, fear. Yeah. Okay. So thank you, Andromedon. Andromedon, the Great Descendant, is what they said, is the one that gave that message that said they're coming in with intervening energy. Now, I have to tell you, I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning and I was dreaming of something, and something so loud, like a boom, jolted me out of my bed, and I couldn't place the boom. Okay, I couldn't place the boom. I couldn't place it. I don't, 11115, 115. I can't put my finger on what it was, but it was something so loud, and I feel like it shook my home and it woke me up at 4 a.m. Okay. The reason I'm talking about this is because your world is not two-dimensional or three-dimensional anymore. They are quite profound energies here, and if you can't match them, it's impossible to rise. That's why you can't be duality. You can't have shadow. Okay, you have to heal it all. And it took a lot of healing. Okay, and we don't have time to waste in that. We don't have time to have fear or worry about money. That's one of the things, right? I was like, I just want to pay. All of a sudden, like I had this really push against me to just want to pay my bills and be that third dimensional reality again. And I can't do that. And I don't know exactly where it was coming from, but I do know there was great energies that pushed against people very close to me. And we are not pushing past that resistance enough. Okay, I know I have. I know I've brought all this through. I know I've survived my twin flame, but I was heartbroken. Okay, and that shouldn't be that way, right? We lost love. We lost the ability to hear God and to push past that resistance and to trust in that inner knowing and to follow our heart over the mind. Okay, so let's see what the cards have to say for everybody for this full moon, for what's coming. These beings of light are on their way. They're bringing cosmic rays of justifications. They're here to help assist you prior to the great event. That way, hopefully, some of you will still be able to navigate these changes as much as possible. But there has been missed opportunities, to say the least. Okay, so we have the card of surrender. That hurts healing music that I posted was all about getting you to surrender, because it's going to spark your shadow. And that's why people don't always like my music, because it sparks their shadow. They don't like it. Let's see if I can unmirror my image and if that helps. Hang on just a second. Let's see. Okay. All right. So surrender. Okay, I just flipped it on you, didn't I? Flipped it. Flip the reality. That's what you need to do. We need to surrender. And that's what Spirit was telling me is no matter what I'm doing right now, I need to surrender more. No matter the outcome of what I'm about to go to, I don't know, because I'm a creator. And so I don't want to create anything I don't want. We need to surrender. We need to be focusing on the right things, doing the right things, saying the right things, and realizing that it's not just about you. So this is what's coming through, is these are profound changes of God, and we are all connected. And for some reason, most people have this inner thing about it's just you. It's just you that you're affecting. It's just you that you're worrying about, rather than, because on my journey, I didn't think of me. I gave up my vessel. I sacrificed my vessel. I sacrificed my twin soul. I sacrificed a lot of things for the greater good of all. That's what God's looking for. That's what makes some a chosen one. Okay. Those that are recognizing that we're all connected and your choices don't just affect you. So I'm going to tell you right now is it's going to try to make you focus on things that don't matter. There's a lot of distractions and they don't matter. But what really did matter is making sure that you're co-creating, you're surrendering, you're listening to those subtle nudges, and you're taking opportunities as they rise to create changes, to heal, to step into soul growth, and provide light for others to heal. Okay? The more you heal, the more others heal. But also, when God tells you to create something and put it out there, it's not about you and how uncomfortable you feel. It's about shining your light to help others through. Okay? Not when the ego tells you to do it. Not when it's about greed and money and envy and those kinds of things, or just you. But usually when it's uncomfortable and it's about soul growth and putting yourself out there in ways you may not have before to help others do the same. Okay, so know the difference. But we have a profound reason to and nudge to surrender right now like never before. And that means getting out of your comfort zone, not assuming the world is going to be familiar, because it's not. There's no more familiarity happening for you at this time. Then we have the portal keeper. If you watch my pyramid activations and the activations of the Sphinx and clearing the shadow of the moon, which most of those are only on the path to righteousness, bringing down the waves of Christ's light also are only on the path to righteousness. But a lot of times this card is pulled. Okay, we are going through a profound portal. And we are being assisted because in order to make it through, you had to be healed to a certain point. Okay. And if you were nudged to do something, especially something that made you feel a little uncomfortable out of your comfort zone, it's because you had people to help. It wasn't just you. Okay. And so I feel like I felt that earlier. I was like, there's like my original twin flame, my original DM was extremely selfish. He didn't care. Okay, and he's no longer here. So much so that he hurt me, he hurt the rest, and he couldn't push past his own self-reflections. He couldn't push past his own egocentric wants and needs. He didn't want to own up to what had happened. He didn't want people to judge him. He didn't think about the fact of how many people he was affecting by not doing so. And I'm getting chills as I'm saying that. So we have to be very careful with that. Okay. And then we have fire. Solaris sublime. Okay, fire is about your internal forces. Balance of the internal forces is required. Okay. We need greater balance of our abilities. We need greater balance of our connections. We need balance of our internal forces. That's what I'm hearing here. Solar plexus chakra. This one's come up a lot lately. So you know that internal focus message? Your compass needs to be recalibrated. Also, the Hertz healing music I have done is to help you with this. But our solar plexus is so important. Do you know the number one place they attacked me through the return of Christ? Was my solar plexus. They blew it out several times. That's why my gut is so big. Like my solar plexus, my whole stomach is still healing to this day. And some people thought like my health was bad. It's not. I've had blood work done. I know I don't have diabetes. I don't have any of those things. It's because the way the fallen would attack me and blind me or try to destroy me, number one, was through my solar plexus. Then they tried every other way too. They get in your head. They did physical attacks. I mean, when my original DM was here, around this time, 3 years ago, I think 4 years ago now, 3 years ago, they shattered my arm. And I mean, my bone came out the side of it. So, and I couldn't have surgery. I couldn't take pain meds because if I did, we would have been in trouble. Okay. So you need to understand that these shifts, what is happening is beyond you. It's beyond your understanding. It requires your internal focus. It requires an ability to feel your body like you've never felt your body before. It requires an ability to trust God like you've never trusted God before because it's going to be beyond what you can see. Okay. There is protective energy here. You can't make it through a portal if you carry shadow. And to get through each portal is a testament in your tower, surrendering to the co-creations of spirit, because these lessons are hidden in disguise. That's why that path to righteousness was truly priceless. Okay. Again, reclaim your energy. Didn't I just say that? Okay. Reclaim your energy. You have to call your power back because there is great interference right now. And that's been coming out a lot. Okay. Recently, with that Sistine Chapel clearing right before it, the person that was supposed to do it attacked my solar plexus as well. Okay. And so you wonder why my stomach is as big as it is. It's because my solar plexus has been blown out more times than I can count. Also, one time I blew it out myself in the beginning of the pyramid activations, and I didn't know why. And I was inching towards my twin flame union, and I was internally scared, and I didn't know that. I was afraid of my own twin flame, my original one. And it was a battle of my lifetime, let me tell you, to save my soul. And then I got to walk in. And so I feel like sometimes that's what God was talking about, is my walk-in was always part of the plan, if necessary. And I heard he was. He was always going to be that. God knows more than we do, right? But there was room for my original DM to step up. But God wasn't sure he would. And on a soul level, I was actually afraid of it. And I didn't even know I was a twin flame yet. Get that. So I had rose Atlantis with Hermes the god. And after that, I had grabbed this crystal because I repaired the crystalline grid and I reconnected the pyramids and things to the crystalline grid. And crystals do matter. Tesla would talk about that. Nikola Tesla, whatever. And they do. And I had found the crystal and I was going to replace it. I don't remember specifics. It's in the videos. I had to take like 3 days off because I decided for whatever reason, I was going to take that crystal and shove it into my solar plexus and I burst my solar plexus. So that was the first time I did it to myself. And at that time, this was a subconscious thing because I just thought that I was afraid of activating the pyramids. And God said no. Later on, I found out I was afraid of my twin flame. And if you know the story, before I brought down the anointing of the blood of Christ, before I undid the Holy Grail, once I freed Jesus's soul, I started really truly uniting with my DM even more. And he took off with Fallen after our souls united, attempted right before that to rip my soul out of my body. They physically attacked me. I was attacked more than you would ever know. And we got to a point where my DM did try, but he just wasn't strong enough. Okay. And so if you know what really happened to Jesus, if you know what happened to everything Adam and Eve, it'll make sense and you'll know by watching my videos. Okay. They stole his soul. And so I battled for my DM's soul, but I was so afraid before I even knew I was a twin flame that I blew out my own solar plexus. So your solar plexus is your power center. Okay. That is, we think our crown and our third eye is everything. Let me tell you, sweetheart, if your solar plexus is not internally compassed and open, you are not in your power. Okay. They will get in and mess with you through that. That is one of the ways you will get attacked is through your solar plexus because think about solar. It's our energy center. It's how we reflect ourselves to the world. Okay. It's how we perceive the world around us, our gut brain connection, right? There, and I talk about these a lot in my one-on-one healing sessions and my coaching and stuff. It's very real. Okay. So you need to call your power back, protect and clarify your solar plexus. Your power needs to be aligned and in balance, and you need to be in full power to survive this transition. That is not a maybe. You can't be fragmented of a soul. All past lives healing is happening. It's been happening. And you can't be duality. You have to be in full power to survive this ascension. And you need to surrender because you're not going to know what's happening. But your higher self and God does. That's why you have to trust in them. Okay. The violet flame is here to help you transmute. Okay. Violet flame is really good for transmutation. And I think I used it again in one of my healings recently, bringing value to the divine feminine and masculine again. Okay. So now we're going to do some Moonology cards and see what they say. This is from the feminine side of the energy. Feminine side of the moon. Okay. The moon is the masculine side of the sun. But the moon and the sun are connected. The divine feminine, my DM and I, he's a male and I'm a female, right? It takes both masculine and feminine. So I have the masculine here, but we are going to read the feminine side of the energy. We are all both feminine and masculine, and that's what we should be. No shadow, okay? Pure power of feminine and masculine aligned within you. And if you're a twin flame, you should have been united pure and fully on the inside, not through ego. Okay. All right. So let's see what this says. Ooh, excuse me. I burp when I connect more and when I clear things. And so one more, they want one more. So this is for the feminine side of all of us. Okay. With this moon, it's giving us a feminine read. Open up to the change. You have to open up to the change. See the darkness there? Okay. So we're supposed to be going into the age of Aquarius too. I need to point that out. New age of Aquarius. We're supposed to be going into the age of Aquarius, and we need to open up to these changes. It's beyond our mind. Okay. If you can't feel enough, and if you're not in your power, you cannot navigate them. If you have healing to do, it's impossible to be fully in your power. Okay. Not to say we don't have healing, but you have to heal to a certain level. And that, if you're familiar with the path to righteousness, you're going to know what I'm talking about because there's certain steps and levels I take you through, and all your karma has to be healed. And it's done through wounds and making the choices as they present themselves again. Okay. All right. Then we have take a breather. This is very important. And this is what I did. I told you I used my own Hertz music this morning for an hour. I truly did. And boy, was it profound. My whole head was shaking. My sinuses were purging. I was like, wow, it was detoxing. I could feel some twinges in my heart space, almost love. And I was like, ah. I'm not gonna. Anyways, so we need to sit back and we need to take a breather. Okay. We need to use our breath. You need to use our breath and breathe deeply into our bodies. Plus, our breath is going to help us release. Okay. We need to sit back and feel. We need to breathe deeply. How do you dig through things? Take your focus and dig with your breath. Okay. Dig through your body with your focus and your breath internally. All right. But you need to take a breather. This reminds me of meditating. If you have not mastered meditating and calming your mind, it should be important. And there's not enough pointing towards that right now. Not the way they taught you. I feel like people get afraid of meditating and they get frustrated with it. And that's because one of the portals is of the mind. So to actually call your power back from the mind is a necessity. That's where ego is and the shadow resides. Number one. Okay. Like the darkness will get in your head. That's why one of the marks is 666. It's your head. All right. So our thoughts can be quite dark. You ever wondered where they come from? There's outside interference in them. Okay. So it's super important to take a breather, to meditate, to clear your mind, but also use your breath and water. I'm seeing water in here again. That's why that water meditation is so important. The feminine side, know your worth. This has been hard for me lately because having nobody see the value of what I've done finally took a toll on me. And I don't know if it's because my new DM doesn't love me or what it is, but it's hard to know my worth. And yet I'm the one who brought about the return of Christ, and it's all proven and recorded, and it was my path. Like, I can't deny it. This is not just my ego saying, look who I am. I'm a Messiah. This was like, dude, I just activated a pyramid. What just happened? I need to process this for a week. And oh my God, they just blew out my solar plexus and I almost died. And oh my God, I'm a twin flame. What the hell is that? And what is happening? And then undoing the Holy Grail and not knowing it was coming. So there's a difference between an ego person and who I am. Okay? Know your worth. I'm stepping back into mine, and I will never let anybody that close to me again, unfortunately. Okay? If my DM chose to, that would be the only one. But that's because we have to unite for the greater good of all. It's not just about him and I. And that's why I let him the first one die. Okay? I had a choice. So this one also says breathe through tension. So we have two breathing ones here. All right. When things arise that we don't understand, that don't feel right, that we need to navigate intentionally through breath, you need to use your breath. Your breath is a very important tool for healing, for how to heal the self. Okay. It's our breath. Use your breath. That's why certain people will focus on breath work. I would say it's one of the layers, but right now it's this full moon energy, what's happening right now is so intense in the emotional field. And the energies are so profound because we are going through an ascension portal. And in order to do that, you need to be very light in energy. And so they're requesting you to assist yourself in releasing those energies. That's why God had me do the Hertz healing that I just did, because I channeled it through. I saw what to do, so I created it. And like I said, I used the seed mantras for all of our chakras, and I did them forwards, backwards, and very intentionally. And then it has all chakra bowls in it. Like, it's really, truly intense. And it will cause your shadow to rise. Okay. It will spark layers of that shadow. And so surrendering into that, when it asks you to surrender, to breathe past the tension, to use your breath to get out of your head, use your breath to release, use your breath to ground. Okay. But also water. Water, that guided meditation of water came through too. Okay. So those are very important. God has me do things and they will come up again later. So you may do the healings once, do it again, right? It'll come back around sometimes. So that was the feminine part of this full moon. Let's see what the masculine has to say. What does the masculine side of things need to know at this time? Not thinking you're worthy is part of the wound. And so a lot of people I have seen do that. Like, I have literally recently told people, hey, collaborate with me on this. And they're like, let me think on that. They'll think they're not worthy. They'll think they don't know how. And that's a shadow. That's a wound. And that will block you because God says you're worthy. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the call. There's people you have to help. It's not about being better than anybody. It's about helping. See, that's the thing here is like we have this notion that we have to be good enough, we have to be something we're not. That's ego, and that's what they've done to us. That's what judgment does. That's what not conditional love does. But when you realize it's not about your dang ego or being good enough or being this or that, it's about shining your light to help others through. Baseline. Okay. And if you choose not to, by thinking you're not good enough, then a whole bunch of people won't be able to see that light and make it through. Okay. All right. So this is what the masculine side is saying. So we have water. Nothing is set in stone. Okay, you're a creator. And that's what they were telling me is like, you need to create. Is this what you want to create? Nothing is set in stone. Okay. So I'm going to say what I want. Money comes in. I'm safe for Thanksgiving. My daughter and I are home. I get to buy a Christmas tree to decorate the house for her birthday on Thanksgiving because she loves that. And I just get to make a yummy good meal for my kids. We are safe. We are home. My rent is paid, right? Create what you want. Don't think about what we don't want. Okay, that's very loud. We have to create what we want because nothing's set in stone. You are a creator. So it'll get in your head and it'll make you think things. It'll take your power away. It'll stop you. It'll make you take time and think. It'll make you procrastinate. And then, bam, you missed your mark. You missed the portal. And we don't have time. Okay. But remember, luck is on your side. So when God says do something, know that it's going to be fine. Even if you feel scared, even if it's uncomfortable, even if my ego gets in and says I'm not worthy and I don't want to be judged and I don't want this to happen. Remember, you're a creator. Is that what you're creating? What you want can be created. Luck is on your side. This is on the masculine side, okay? This is on the masculine side. Feminine needs to know her worth. The masculine needs to know he's safe. The feminine needs to know her worth, and the masculine needs to know he's safe. And then we need to realize it's a time for healing. Everything should be time for healing right now. And it's time to take action now. That's why they are coming in with interference. So they're bringing in a special wave of light that was not normally part of the plan because there was interference. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to do this deck, which I created. This is Guided Ascending Light, Epic Light Healing Journey. It was channeled at the end of the Return of Christ work. And it does have healing and messages in the cards. Okay, so I have channeled sigils in here that are 7D in nature that help provide healing and activations and guidance and so forth. So if a sigil is pulled, absorb it, intend to receive it. Okay. All right, let's see what this has to say for us for now for this full moon. Do. What do we need to see? Spirit. Woo. Woo. That one did it. Whoa, backflip. One more. I'm hearing one more. There is one more in here. I'm hearing don't be fooled. Two more. Don't be fooled. That's what they're saying. Don't be fooled. So didn't I tell you the mind is a portal? If you can't calm your mind and get into your body and take power back from your mind, that is a portal you will miss. I've been saying this for a long time with Mount Shasta, and people waited until they saw proof sometimes, or until they saw enough proof, or I don't know what they were waiting for. But now that they're truly seeing it, is it too late? Right? So you need to take actions with things right away and trust in God, trust in things that our mind may not understand, but that our body can vouch for. But we can't do that if we don't get out of our head. Okay. Portal of the mind also talks about a testament and thoughts. Luck is on your side. You are a creator, nothing set in stone. So if something keeps coming up, like it happened to me for like a week, there was this big push that I would be homeless, that I'd be sitting in my car, like all these things. And I just didn't push past it. And that's a detriment. Okay. And that's how the attacks come in. And you choose to pick up the thoughts or not. That's how judgments come in too. Okay. The definition of judgments justifies judgments, and God does not. He has his own definition of judgments. So trust me when I tell you they're not of God. And your thoughts are not always of God either. So the portal of the mind talks about being able to clear the negative and still create the positive. No matter what's coming up, you are a creator. Okay. Also, that's taking your power back from the mind, knowing that that's in my head. That's not right. I'm not going to create that because I don't want it. Third eye awakening and cleansing. Okay. And that's what that Hertz music is doing, for sure. But this is also a little bit of a sigil here. Okay. To help you open and awaken your third eye, because we have to be co-creating. Remember, it doesn't just happen from the third eye. Solar plexus, heart chakra, they all matter. Crown. But the third eye is being able to see correctly. And you have to master the portal of the mind also to do so. Okay. 555 is a change in path coming that you need to be able to see. But you can't see it if you are not in your full power. Your vibration's not high enough. You're not connected to your body, and you haven't mastered the mind, because that's where it will trick you. Okay, then we have releasing old patterning, outdated blueprint. And that's part of what this moon is here to help us do. We need to release the ways we used to do things. We cannot do them that way anymore. Okay, you see how the patterns changed? Our blueprint is changing. We cannot do things the way we used to do them anymore. Trust me, I know. Trust me, I know. I just tried to go back into the psychology field and I got blocked upon blocked. And then I'm like, God, I just wanted to go. I wanted to quit. I did. Because I fought hard for that love. You know what I mean? And I sacrificed my life for mankind and for my DM, and I wasn't even given love. And even beyond that, I have to say it's okay. I love myself. Know your worth. Okay. No matter what others do, we need to know our worth. It's not validated through others, it's validated through ourselves. All right. And just like I told you here, we had a portal rising. Space-time continuum, ascension, portal rising. Okay. And all I want is that love. If I had my DM's love so profoundly, continually, and he chose me over everything else, I'd be the happiest person in the world. And if people saw the value in the return of Christ work, I'd be the happiest person in the world. Yeah. 13 is the portal of God. That is the portal of New Earth, and we are getting closer and closer. We're like at the 10th portal. You guys have to understand, and we'll kind of fluctuate. So they're also pointing to the mind portal, which I think was the 6th portal. But you guys have to understand is you need to consider everything is about rising. Okay, not just the times of the portals. Do you feel me? Oh my gosh, you guys, now we have another violet ray activations. So we have different decks saying the same messages. 44 is support and intervention, path alignment, and also balance in some ways. But violet ray activations. Okay, so soak up that sigil. Intend to receive the violet rays, call in the violet rays. We have 2 decks here. It was in the Lemurian deck that those also came through, violet ray activations. Okay, I love it when different decks give the same message because you cannot deny them, right? Ego really can't deny it when it's multiple decks saying the same dang thing. Hand a channeled message. So this is my other deck that I made while I was activating the pyramids. These are ascension portal healing messages. And this is your final part of the message for this full moon of importance. This is a very important message. Hopefully everybody receives what they need to receive out of it. Even if something doesn't resonate in this moment, put it in your pocket. Don't ignore it, because it might be a seed planted in a full circle moment rising. Okay, part of your awakening journey. Generally, everything I say matters. I'm not one of those where parts of the message is for some people. I'm one of those where I'm your path home. So everything I say truly is part of your path. And even if it doesn't make sense now, it will at some point in some way for everybody. Okay. All right. So let's see what this one says. What do they need to know? This is a lesson hidden in disguise. Okay. This is part of karmic cleansing. This is a lesson hidden in disguise. There's 3. Oh, and right away. Okay. Right away. Yep. Balance. Balance provides many things, including being able to see the right directions. It's balance for prosperity, but also you won't be able to see correctly if you're not in balance. Neither can your twin flame. You have to be in balance from your heart space and co-creating and in your full power. Okay. That's the new earth blueprint. You can't have shadow. You can't have karma. Full power, full path aligned, co-creating with spirit, complete open heart space, no hesitation to God, and in balance from those heart nudges. Because that's where your balance, that's where your creations come from of your soul path, and the light is from the heart, not the head. So you have to get into the heart deeper and deeper, passion and all of that stuff. Balance provides many things, though, not just prosperity, but clarity. Okay. And my friends, the path is not always an easy one. Can I get an amen? A to the amen. Okay. Let me tell, I can vouch for this one. Path is not always easy. Okay. However, if it was, you would never challenge yourself or grow, because we need to grow as a soul. Okay. We need to learn all the lessons that we needed to learn, because this is the great reset of mankind. It's not a maybe. It is. It's the end of ways outside of God. True God, not religion, God. A journey into unknown territory, entering into a new timeline through choices in disguise. That's how you do it. Okay. That's how your karma is presented, is in choices in disguise, and it will hit you where your wounds are. That's why that path to righteousness was priceless. Okay. Because you won't be able to see them clearly otherwise. And some of you cut ties to your karma. You burned them and you cut those contracts so they won't rise. And the path home is through choices hidden in disguise of soul growth and learning balance from your power and your heart choices, not the mind and not the matrix. Navigate this wisely, my friends. This is very profound, very powerful. And I'm going to go on now and do my Patreon healing of the full moon. If you wish to join Patreon, I encourage you to do so, because there are tons of full moon healings in there. They are all ascension related, and the ascension requires a lot of healing. All right. Ride this wave. Do that guided healing for water. I've got so many things you guys could possibly need, including the Hertz healing music, which will invoke something. Breathe past it, release it, and surrender deeper to it. Surrender. And please follow God's nudges, because you just don't know who you're hurting when you don't. It's not just you. Until next time, my friends, have a very beautiful day, Soul Path Warriors. Till next time.